morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today we need to have a look at the cards you need to buy from Surging Sparks. We're doing a Surging Sparks buy list today. And you know the deal when it comes to this. I'm talking about the cards you need to have in your binder, cards that you might end up using that you would otherwise forget about. We're not necessarily talking main attackers here. So if you think Pikachu EX looks good and you think you're going to play Pikachu EX, go for it. But otherwise, it's going to be kind of expensive and you might not ever use it. Same thing with, for instance, Archaladon. Good card, but if you're not playing an Archaladon deck, same kind of deal. And I could say the same about Ceruledge here. If you want to be playing these decks, pick them up. But the theory here is you follow my buy list. You have everything you need other than any main attackers. And then you go, oh, I want to play Ceruledge this weekend. Oh, pick up a couple Ceruledge. You're off and rolling. If you want to pick up main attackers as well, that's fine. It will just get a little bit more expensive. Sound like a plan? Excellent. So starting off then, you're going to need yourself 4 copies of Victini. It's got an ability that says your Evolution Fire Pokemon do an extra 10 damage. This is going to be something that can basically work in a lot of fire decks moving forward, so you're going to need this. Gouging Fire, as soon as your opponent has 4 or fewer prize cards remaining, it does 170 for free energy. That is incredibly efficient. You need a couple of these lying around. Milotic EX might be an EX, which I generally like to stay away from in the buy list if I can help it. But the reality is you block all damage and effective attacks from your opponent's Terra Pokemon. You know that's going to see play in a very wide variety of decks, so for that reason we need to take it seriously. Chen Pao, you need at least a couple copies of this because it's got an ability that gets rid of stadiums. That's phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. We've seen Pokemon like this in the past. We know this is going to see a huge amount of play. You need a couple copies of it. Now, Magneton, I do think you need 4 copies sitting in your binder. It's got that ability that lets you KO it and accelerate free energy from the discard. Lightning decks are going to absolutely love this one. They're also going to love Rotom. Single energy, and you get to look at your opponent's hand and discard all items and all tools that you find there. It's another disruptive card which is going to see play in a lot of different decks. Togekiss, similarly, it's a stage 2, which is a pain, but it's got that ability whereby if it's anywhere on the field, if your opponent's active gets KO'd at any point, you can flip a coin for an extra prize. We're all going to be trying this in a bunch of decks. You might as well lean into it now. Now, Latias EX is not going to be the cheapest card in the set. It's probably the best card in the set, but you do need at least 1 or 2 copies of this. It gives free retreat to basic Pokemon. It's absolutely phenomenal. It's going to see a huge amount of play. You're going to be playing it in a whole bunch of decks, so you might as well just go and pick up a couple now, so you're not rushing around. This is exactly the kind of card that you go to a tournament and the vendors will sell out because everybody's trying to pick it up. This, more than most, you need to make sure you've got ready before tournament day. Now, Meowstic lets you discard a Chill Teaser toy from your hand, and then it's gusting. It's a stage 1 that gusts them with an item card. You definitely need to have a couple of these lying around. Indeedee's got an ability whereby you heal 30 damage and special conditions from your active. It's good. It's not necessarily great in the format we're currently in. However, it will become good at some point in the future. Get a couple copies now. Gastrodon's got a redonkulous ability that says as long as it's benched, bent stage 2 Pokemon have no abilities. I've already seen this popping up in a wide variety of decks over in Japan. I expect that to continue as we go through the next couple of years. Make sure you got a couple copies handy. Now, Koraidon is a weirder one. I'm getting a full play set of these. I love Koraidon, one of my favourite cards in the set. For everybody else, it's only for ancient decks. It does 180 if you use an ancient attack last turn. But the thing is, in any ancient deck, from now until ancient decks are never a thing again, this is going to be a great attacker for 2 energy, and for that reason I think it's something we need to take seriously and get a couple copies rolling. Eevee, we need a full 4 copies because from now until the day it rotates, this is almost certainly going to be the optimal Eevee, because if it's active, you can evolve it either the turn you play it or your first turn. It's great. You definitely need a full 4 copies of it. especially with those evolutions we know are coming. And then finally, Terrapagos. You need a couple copies of Terrapagos, because you know what? Terrapagos lets you accelerate 3 basic energy cards of different types to your Terra Pokemon. And Terra Pokemon look like they're going to be good, so you need a couple copies of this lying around. Now, in terms of trainer cards, we generally go a playset of all of them except for the berries. I'm not doing it. I'm sorry. I'm not doing it. We've got a bunch of berries like Babiri Berry here, like Colbur Berry, and I mean, there's another one in the set somewhere, isn't there? Aside from those two. Yeah, Pasho Berry. I'm not a fan of these cards. I don't think they're good, but buy a playset if you really want to. Amulet of Hope is an A-Spec. You need one of every A-Spec just in case. This lets you search 3 cards on a KO. It's great. Brilliant Blender lets you discard any 5 cards from your deck. That is seen play in some decks. Cool Bell can only be used going second on your first turn, but it's an item that lets you use a supporter card. I've already seen decks playing 4 of these. If there's a supporter card you need to hit turn 1, this will be your very best friend. You have been warned. Chill Teaser Toy is only really good if you're playing Meowstic. I don't think the getting rid of energy is quite good enough. But again, I do think Meowstic is going to be great. So for that reason, I think you need to be, getting in on this one as well. Sorry about that. Clement's Quick Wit is a card that lets you heal 60 from each of your lightning Pokemon. And I don't think it's particularly good, but you never know if things might change in the future. Counter Gain, there's actually a decent chance you've got Counter Gain from before. I certainly have. But if you don't, it reduces attack cost by 1 if you're behind on prizes. It's great. Make sure you've got a playset. Serrano searches for free Pokemon EX. Could be good in EX heavy decks. Make sure you've got a playset. Deduction Kit lets you rearrange the top 3 cards of your deck, or shuffle and put them on the bottom of your deck. For speed decks, it's going to be great. Dragon Elixir lets you heal 60 from your active dragon. Could be good in dragon decks. Drasna lets you shuffle your hand into your deck. Flip a coin. If heads, you get 8 cards. If tails, you draw 3. Yes, tails is bad, but heads is very, very good. Drayton lets you grab a Pokemon and a trainer from the top 7 cards of your deck. It's going to see a bunch of play. You need a playset. Dusk Ball is another one you might have from before, but if you don't, you get to get a Pokemon from the bottom 7 cards of your deck. It's actually way better than it used to be, because we've got cards like Iono that put your hand on the bottom of your deck, so make sure you got a playset hanging around. Energy Search Pro, you're only ever going to need 1 copy of this one, because it's an A-Spec, but it is a very nice A-Spec that lets you search for as many different types of energy as you like, and for that reason, I think you're going to need a copy of this one. You're going to need this one hanging around, so make sure you go and get a copy of this one. Excellent. Now, we've also got Gravity Mountain here. This is a card that reduces the HP of Stage 2 Pokemon by 30. It's phenomenal. It's seen a huge amount of play. You definitely need a playset. Jasmine's Gaze means that your Pokemon, it's a supporter card that says your Pokemon take 30 less damage from attacks last turn. It's not great, but there's a lot of potential here. You'll be needing a playset. Liazier's Appeal, Gust basic Pokemon and confuses them. Again, it's not great now, but it could be in the future. Lively Stadium gives basic Pokemon an extra 30 HP. It's very, very good. Meddling Memo makes your opponent count their cards, shuffle the cards onto the bottom of their deck, and then draw that many cards. Good for disruption. Great if you know your opponent has a decent hand, or suspect that they do. Megaton Blower gets rid of all of your opponent's tools, special energy, and the stadium in play. Again, it's an A-Spec, you need 1 copy. Miracle Headset goes and searches your discard pile for a couple of supporter cards. It's great, you need a copy. Precious Trolley lets you get all of your basic Pokemon out. It's an A-Spec, you're going to need 1 copy, it's already seen a bunch of play. Scramble Switch, you might actually have a copy of this from before, and if you do, that's brilliant. Otherwise, you'll need a copy. It's an A-Spec, it's a switch that lets you move a bunch of energy over. You may well be needing it. Surfer lets you switch your active with one of your bench and then draw until you got 5 cards in your hand. It is both switch and draw. You will need a playset of these. It's going to pop up in some decks. Technical Machine Flora, I don't really like. it gives you an attack which is a grass, water, and a psychic, and you discard it all to heal all damage from each of your Terra Pokemon. I'm actually not a particularly big fan of this card, but maybe grab one or two just in case. Terra Orb, you get to search for a Terra Pokemon. In Terra decks, it's brilliant. Make sure you've got a playset. Time, this is another one where, you tell your opponent the name of a Pokemon and they got to guess the HP, and if they're wrong, you draw 4 cards. I really don't think this is going to work. Maybe get a couple, but don't go too over the ball for this one. And then finally, a copy of Enriching Energy, because when you attach it from your hand to a Pokemon, you draw 4 cards. It's only an ace spec, so you never need more than 1 copy, but make sure you have 1 copy lying around. This is the list as a whole, and like I've said, anything which is just strictly a main attacker, Pikachu, Ceruledge, Archaladon, those ones I've left off the list. If you're sure you're going to play them, then yes, absolutely go and grab them. Otherwise, grab everything on this list, and you'll be prepared for whatever deck you want to make in the future. I've seen a lot of tournaments where people are scrambling around last minute for some random trainer card, obviously not paying enough attention to my buy list. But for now, I've told you what you need to know, so it's over to you guys. Let me know what you think about these. Are there any cards on here that you think shouldn't be? Are there any cards that aren't on here that you think should be? Let me know in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk about Pokemon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all kinds of fun things. Oh, and get shout-outs on the channel, like the lovely AB3, who's been a supporter of ours for a while now and is a very lovely person, so shout out to them for the support and the loveliness. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.